Hello guys, today is day 45 of the 90-day challenge for the law of attraction, and welcome to our halfway into our journey. Today we want to talk about the law of gender, of the creative law. We have a few topics to talk about today, so let's get started. Welcome back guys, this is Miguel Olvera, and today we're going to talk about the law of gender. The law of gender talks about, certain things. It's similar to the law of polarity, but it has certain differences, and we're going to talk about those pretty soon. So the first thing is, I'm going to use an example so you have a better grasp of what I'm trying to illustrate with my bullet points right here. First thing is, when you're holding a conversation, okay? When you're holding a conversation, you have usually two or more people that are conversing or they're talking about certain things, certain topic, like we're doing here. Fortunately, you cannot respond to me. You can comment below, but you cannot respond to me. But if you are in a meeting at work or maybe at school and you're conversing with a friend, with somebody, you actually are bouncing ideas going back and forward. So first, the person who speaks is implanting ideas into the person who is listening. Okay? Then that person who's listening turns around and speaks, and the person who is now, that was speaking, is now listening, and his or her idea is being implanted into this other person. So it's going back and forward in a conversation. So we're planning ideas in somebody else's mind. That person comes back and gives us their point of view and is planning ideas into our mind. So by going back and forward, guess what? Something gets created. Yes? Something gets created out of that conversation. What gets created? Plans, guys. Something like as simple as a plan gets created, or maybe a new agreement gets created, or maybe a new idea or a new way to do certain things gets created. That's how important the law of gender is. There's always a masculine and there's always a feminine. The masculine is, in this example, is this person speaking. The feminine is the person listening. So when it switches around, the person who was a feminine or listening becomes a male and it starts implanting ideas into your mind. So that's why it's called the creative law, because we are actually implanting ideas. Right now in this video, if you're watching and actually listening, I'm planting ideas into your mind, and I've been doing it for the last 45 days. It's all up to you if you are actually working or implementing these ideas, but my goal is for me to plant the seeds into your head so you can actually generate or germinate an idea or something that that will make you more successful or reach a goal faster, and then off you go. So that's my whole objective here, for me to be able to just plant little seeds into your head so you are able to germinate them and then just go and achieve your objective. And that's exactly what it is. Okay? So when I talk about the law of gender being similar to the law of polarity, it's because we have the plus and the minus. It's the masculine and the feminine. But again, it's just a little different. And the difference is here, guys. Yesterday we talked about our farmer and how we actually, we plant seeds and we wait for those seeds to germinate, etc., etc. So here's the part that, that comes into this actual law. Okay, when you plant a seed in the ground, there is a gestation time or incubation time for that actual seed in the ground to germinate. Okay, now by germination, I'm just saying it just sprouts. I'm not saying you get a full-blown tree, but you have an incubation period for that seed to actually see life or germinate. Okay, so for example, for a carrot, when you plant a carrot into the ground, it takes approximately 14 to 21 days for that seed to germinate. Okay, for tomatoes, I'm just using simple examples, it takes about 5 to 10 days. For chickens to hatch out of the egg, it takes approximately 21 days. Okay, For a horse, it takes approximately 320 to 362 days. Wow, it's almost a year. For babies, well, for babies it's 280 days. So there is a gestation or a germination part that you have to go through when you are planting a seed on the ground, when when you're having a baby, or when you want to get a horse, or there's a period of time. This is the law of gender. There's a period of time that has to pass between the beginning to the end, insemination to actually creation or life that comes out of that seed. So when you're planning your goal, guys, when you're actually planning your goal or you're planning on reaching a certain objective, a time period has to pass by, no matter what it is. I cannot tell you exactly how long it's going to take. It's different for everybody. It's different because, like I explained yesterday with the farmer, it all depends on what season you are in. And I'm not saying, the 4 seasons of the year. I'm talking about internal season. How is your soil in here? Is it fertile? Is it positive? Is it ready for that seed to germinate? Are you watering it? Are you fertilizing it? Are you forgetting about it and not watering and not fertilizing it for a period of time? So everybody's seed it germinates at a different time. The problem, guys, when people say that the law of attraction doesn't work, is because they don't give, one, the proper time for that seed to germinate, and two is they don't fertilize that seed and they don't water it enough, or they overwater it. So like I said, going back to the farmer, you have to know where are you in terms of your mental garden. Are you in a fertile soil? Is your fertile soil positive? Is your mind positive, being a fertile soil for you to plant that seed and germinate it? Are you going to be able to guard it? Because once you plant a seed, it doesn't matter. You can go outside in your house and, plant a garden. But you know what? Weeds are going to grow out of that garden too. You have to plug those weeds out and get them out. The same thing happens with our mind, guys. The same thing happens. Bad thoughts, bad influences, other people talking stuff, smack, what I call, so you're going to get all that people trash your garden, and then weeds will start growing. And if you don't protect your seed, then those weeds are going to cover it, and then that goal or that seed or that sprout is going to die. Okay? So it's very important that you actually take into consideration this law of gender. The law of gender, is similar to the law of polarity, but the other part of the law of gender is this germination and incubation time that people just don't absorb. And not a lot of people talk about it in the law of attraction. And most of the books that are out there, they don't talk about this law, the law of gender. It's very crucial and very important that you get this into your mind. There's got to be time for this seed to germinate. Whatever you're trying to accomplish is going to take time. It's up to you how long you're going to get at it. Persistence. Remember I talked about persistence maybe about 10 days ago, 11 days ago. The trait of these most successful people, they have persistence. They are persistent on what they want until they get it. That's the germination, the incubation time. They have to be persistent from point A to point B. If they're not persistent, nothing's going to happen. Guys, thank you very much for being with me. 45 days, I cannot believe it. It has been quite a journey. Thank you for being with me all this time. Thank you for spending about 9-10 minutes today with me. If you have any friends or relatives, as I've been saying, please invite them over. Like, subscribe, share these videos, turn on the post notifications up here. And thank you once again, guys. Today was day 45. We talk about the law of gender. Very important law. Thank you for being here today, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.